Milan season review. It's safe to say it's been a quarter of a season so far, so it's only right we do a season review, quarter season review. Who's impressed? Who hasn't? Who needs to step up? And whose name is on the chopping board? Who is Iglitare looking at and saying, Hermano, pack them bags, say your goodbyes, have your last plate of pasta, and make your way to Milan Airport. Now, I'll start off with the defense, and then I'll go into the midfield, and then I'll go into the attack. The categories will be great, good, okay, poor, and not applicable. Like, not applicable is for anybody that hasn't really played that much. This is how I rank Milan's defense. As you can see, in great, I have Mike Maignan. I think he's been amazing. I truly think he's been amazing. And Mike Maignan tells every single one of you guys, make sure to like and make sure to subscribe. I think Mike Magnan's been amazing. I think, I'm not going to keep, blowing my own trumpet, yeah. I'm not going to keep saying, I told you guys last season, keep Mike Maignan. I'll be real. Mike Maignan needs to get a new contract. I think he's been, the leader of the pack at the back, the communication, the way he's been commanding his box, playing out of the back, under pressure, some of the saves. I'm not saying he's gone back to the old Mike Maignan, but he's definitely a far better version than last season's version. And I feel like last season in the second half, he really picked up and he was just coming under criticism for the sake of criticism. I think Mike Maignan has been amazing this season. I genuinely feel like he's been great. In some moments, I've looked at him and said, you're the reason for that clean sheet. I think Mike Maignan been great, worthy of a new contract, of course, as long as the finances are right. Next to him, I got Pavlovic. Funnily enough, I think Pavlovic is a little bit, when I mean a little bit, we're talking 5% growing on me, yeah? I still have a lot of question marks over him. I don't want to turn around and say, I've been swayed or, I'm now convinced by him. I still feel like Milan can do better, but I feel like, based on his first quarter of the season, he's been great. He genuinely gives you everything you want in a wide-sided centre-back in a back three where he has license to bomb forward. He's getting goals. He's bringing something different to this team. He's just such a good ball carrier. He's such a physical presence. He's got an eye for goal. He works hard. He puts his body on the line. He's one of those guys, he's chaotic. I've always said, Pavlovic is like the Darwin Núñez of centre-backs. But hey, Darwin Núñez is a Premier League winner. Hey, Darwin Núñez is also, he scores goals. Don't get me wrong, he's flipping shit. But he scores goals. My point is, Pavlovic, yes, he's chaotic. Yes, he's all over the place. Yes, he's a headless chicken at times. But listen, he's a headless chicken that brings a lot to this team, and in particular to Allegri's 3-5-2. And based on the first quarter, I would be I would be a liar. I would genuinely be a liar. I would not be the objective person I claim to be if I don't put him in great. Now, alongside of him, Salamakers, I think he's been the player of the season. Without a doubt. I could seriously make a case he's been the best player in the Serie A, period. Salamakers has been amazing. You don't understand. He's genuinely, as wild as it may sound, I can't believe I'm going to say these words. Salamakers is one of those guys where when he gets onto the ball, I'm on the edge of my seat. And it sounds crazy. Trust me, it sounds crazy. He's so, he's genuinely such a good dribbler. He's so good at beating his man. He's so good at creating opportunities. I feel like sometimes he goes overboard with the tricks and the flares. And, sometimes he overdoes it. But I'll be real. The majority of the time when he does overdo it, he comes out on top. I think he's been amazing, and I think Allegri loves him. Allegri truly loves him because he gives him everything tactically. He gives him everything off the ball. He gives him everything in terms of pressing from the front and retrieving the ball in the opposition final third. He gives him everything on the ball: goals, chance creation, moments of magic. This dude runs his socks off, and I'll be real. I can sing his praise for the next hour. I think Salamakers has been amazing. Probably the best player in the Serie A so far. What a revolution, shall we say. Those loans to Bologna and Roma, they really grew him. And I feel like kudos to Allegri, where he walked in and said, you know what it is, maybe, just maybe, on paper, you are a winger, but for me, you are a wing back. And that way, I'm going to remove your defensive responsibilities, but I'm going to put in offensive responsibilities, but not too much of a winger. So it's more of a balance, and I feel like that balance is really paying dividends. Next, in good, I have Gabbia and Tomori. Gabbia, I really like. Gabbia, he's another one. I'll be real. Heading into the season, Gabbia and Pavlovic were the two that I was looking at and saying Milan really need to phase them out. Tomori, I've always liked. I don't know why Tomori hasn't played recently, but I think Tomori's had a monster start to the season. I was so close to putting Tomori in great. I think Tomori defensively has been wicked. I think Tomori bombing down the right hand side, putting crosses into the box, he's been wicked. Playing out of the back, he's been great. Like Tomori, for me, I'm looking at him and I'm getting like it's reminiscent of like the Scudetto winning season with Tomori. I think he's been great, and I said it before. Put the contract on the table for him, because if not, there will be teams looking at him and rolling the dice on him. He's of the right age. He's Serie A like proven, experienced. He's part of the team. You could see he's a leader. Tomori for me has been great. I'll be real. If he had played the last 2 to 3 games instead of Devintar and maintained that level of performance, I probably would have put him in great. I think Tomori's been amazing. Gabbia, I like Gabbia for me is like not the most gifted of centre backs, but he gives it his all. I think he's very good in the air. Gabbia is actually very, very, very good in the air. He's like got that aerial presence. Plays for the badge, even though I don't really like want to head into that direction of like playing for the badge, Glenta and this and that. I just want to speak more about football. I think he's got the aerial presence. I think he definitely puts his body on the line. He's good defensively. I don't think like playing out of the back and all of that stuff, he's amazing, but he compensates for it in other departments. And also being the central centre back in a back three, I always have to kudos any player that flourishes in that role, because you are like the alpha male. You are the leader of the pack. You are the leader of that trio. You need to command them, instruct them. And the fact that Milan have kept, 6-7 clean sheets, they've got one of the best defensive records in the Serie A, and he's been a staple game after game in the centre of that three. It says a lot about his performances. So I think he's been good. Devintar, I've got a lot of stocks in him. I think he's been okay. Like, I think his first start was it against Lecce in the Coppa Italia. I think he was great in that game, but albeit it was Lecce. I think he has now played a few games in the Serie A. You could see he's growing. You could see he's becoming a bit more familiar with the role, the system, the players. It is a shame because I do not want to see Devintar starting instead of Tomori. I would love to see both of them. But if Allegri is looking at both of them as his right-sided centre-backs, then may the best man win. But I think Devintar has been okay. Estupinian, another player I have stocks in, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think he started off poor. He started to grow into the role, and then he got injured, and now he's come back poor, albeit one game. I think there's so much more. Like, there's so many more levels for Estupinian to go up. But I think based on the first quarter of the season, like, it's only fair I put him in poor. Let's go on to the midfield. I've got Luka Modric in great. Like, just keep it short and sweet. Some things don't need to be explained. Some things don't need to be dived into. It's just Luka Modric, great. Let's dive into it. I think he makes 40 look 30. He makes 30 look 20. He's just effortless, like, the ball progression. Like, you guys don't understand. Just watch Luka Modric and watch how he spots those passes. I think the fact that he's got like the most touches in the Serie A, he's up there for interceptions, he's up there for tackles. Like, he's showing everybody, I haven't come to Milan for a smooth sailing ride. No, I'm coming for a challenge. Like, I've come to a team that finished 8th last season in the Serie A, and I want to take them into the Champions League. And I promise you, I want to be a performer in the Champions League for them. I think his communication, I think his leadership. Like, I know Modric has such a massive presence in that changing room. The fact that now he's got everybody in line and everybody's looking at him and saying, you've been there, done it all. You've shared the changing room with some of the greats to ever play the game. Can you bring this to the San Siro? Like, can we follow in your footsteps, in your leadership? I think he's been amazing on the ball. I think he's been amazing off the ball. I do feel like recently, like the past 2 to 3 games, he's like slowly falling off. Like, I feel like he set the bar so high that he's gone from a 10 out of 10 to maybe like a 7.5, 8 out of 10, which is still amazing. But I think Luka Modric has been great. Then, who else do I have? I have Richie and Loftus-Cheek in okay. Richie, I was like close to putting him in very good because I feel like he's really grown in the past month because Allegri's trusted him and told him, you are playing week in, week out. And I feel like he's grown a lot. Like, in particular, the game against Roma, I think he was great. Like, my man of the match. You can see the level of physicality. You can see his understanding of the role. You can see the understanding of playing alongside somebody like Modric. He's now beginning to take a bit more responsibility in the final third. Like, let me play, make. Let me have some shots on goal. Let me retrieve the ball. Let me take it into the channels. Let me carry the ball higher up the field. Richie is still a very young player. And I feel like when he was signed, he was more of a prospect signing. But this prospect signing has been given the keys early on in the season at the San Siro. A club of the magnitude of Milan, and I think he's flourishing. Like, I really feel like he's flourishing, benefiting a lot from the Rabios and the Modric. But I feel like because he had a slow start, it's only right I put him in okay. Loftus-Cheek, I have him in okay. I feel like whenever he comes off the bench, he brings genuinely something different. That physical presence in the centre of the park, the ability to pick up the ball and hurdle it forwards, carry it 20, 30, 40 yards, his ability to play in those tight, congested areas. He chips in with the odd goal here and there. Like, Loftus-Cheek will always give you 100%. Like, I feel like the reason why he's never ever really cemented his name on the team sheet is maybe because of injuries and stuff like that. But I feel like he's been okay. Like, I can't put him in the same bracket as somebody like a Stupinian. And then I have Fofana, as I always say. The bench is screaming, Fofana, Fofana, I'm coming for you. Do you know what it is about Fofana? Like, I feel like he plays the game in a very nonchalant way, but the problem is in life, you can't be nonchalant and shit. Like, with all due respect, if you're gonna be nonchalant, like for example, Leao, I think Leao is very nonchalant, laid back, lethargic, but there's swagger, bro. You give this lethargic dude the ball, and we're talking dynamism. You give Fofana the ball, he shits the bed. Like, you can't be nonchalant and shit the bed. I'll be real, like, I think Fofana done a job last season, but I genuinely feel like this Milan project has outgrown him, and he's very nonchalant. He's always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, he's got so many lapses in concentration. It's actually ridiculous how many lapses in concentration he has. I just, like, I'll always say it. I just feel like the project has outgrown him. I don't think technically he's amazing. Funnily enough, for a guy that so many people label as the engine of this team, I really don't think he's the engine of this meal. Like, I do not look at him and think you run your socks off. If anything, like, he comes across lazy sometimes, yeah. And I feel like so many goals that Milan have conceded this season, he's been at the crime scene. Fofana is at the crime scene, but he hasn't been arrested yet. But there is an arrest warrant. Like, his fingertips are at every crime scene. They're on every window. They're on every... But basically, my point is, Fofana has been pretty poor. And then I've got Yashari in not applicable, like he's hardly played. And then finally, we go on to the attackers. I have Pulisic in great. It's such a shame that he had this injury ever since the last international break, because I wouldn't be surprised if he's probably would have chipped in with another 3, 4, 5 goals, maybe 2, 3 assists. But I think whenever he's played, he's been great. Whenever he's come off the bench, he's turned 5 minutes into half an hour. He's had an impact. And I'll be real, leading the line with somebody like Santi Jimenez, who Santi Jimenez will help you in terms of occupying space, but Santi Jimenez will not help you in terms of giving and going and creating opportunities for you. So when you play with Santi, you practically become a one-man show. You have to create and carve your own opportunities. Of course, you get the time and space because of Santi occupying space, but you're still a one-man show. And I feel like the fact that he's flourished in that department, I think he's been great. Like, I really hope he puts those injuries aside and just kicks on in like the final 3 quarters of the season. I don't know why I said the final 3 quarters, but there's like literally 3 quarters of the season to go. But I think he's been great so far. Leao, I've got him in good. I was so close to putting him in great, but I feel like he's missed a lot of football this season, so it's a bit unfair to put him in the same bracket as Pulisic, because I feel like he's missed more than Pulisic. But I think Leao, after the international break, like, he stepped up in Pulisic's shoes, and he was like, no problem. Like, the main man, the out-and-out goal scorer is out injured. I'm going to step up and carry the plate. You see him being clinical from penalties. You see him scoring goals from outside of the box. I think, funnily enough, I think his performance against Parma was probably my favourite one. Like, the hold-up, the flicks around the corner. Like, I think Leao's been very, very, very good. Like, if anything, I have him literally at the top of good. He can easily creep in to great. But I think the players that I've put in great have played more minutes than him, and like, they've shown more consistency. So Leao for me isn't good. And Nkunku for me was a bit over 50-50. Like, I've got him in okay. I feel like he hasn't played that much. So the game against Lecce, I really, really, really liked from Nkunku. Whenever he comes off the bench, like, I see some nice moments, like the odd flick, the odd giving and going, the chopping and changing. Like, I like it, but I feel like with Nkunku, like, you could really see like that match sharpness and that match fitness is really lacking. Like, he just needs to start playing week in, week out. But the problem is, he's facing some heavy competition in Pulisic and Leao. But I'll be honest with you guys, like, if there is one person very similar to Pulisic to come off the bench and make 10 minutes feel like 20 minutes, once they're fully integrated, it is Nkunku. I think Nkunku's a very good player. Don't get me wrong, I do sometimes look at like the overall direction of the board and think, if the intentions were always to play a 3-5-2 and you had Santi and you had Pulisic and you had Leao, did it really make sense to fork out 35 million on an Nkunku when maybe it could have gone into another area? And I was adamant in the summer that Milan were going to play like a 4-3-3 or like a 4-2-3-1, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And it just seems like, listen, 4 players competed for 2. may the best duo win. So for me, I think he's been okay. Like, I don't think he's been a liability. I don't think he's let Milan down in any way possible. But I don't think he's done anything amazing to warrant being in good or great. Then we've got Santi Jimenez. Nose tape Santi. I'll put him in poor. Now, don't get me wrong. I've praised him in some moments. I will forever highlight the fact that his ability to occupy space and occupy centre backs creates space for the Pulisic and the Leaos. But I'll be honest with you guys, I can never ever fathom the idea of putting a guy that's on 0 goals in 9 Serie A appearances, but he's literally had the most in the Serie A. He's ranked #1 for big chances missed by, I think, 7-8 goal scoring opportunities. I can never fathom the idea of putting somebody like that in either good, okay, or great. You're a goal scorer. Santi Jimenez, when he was signed from Feyenoord, you could see the contract literally says you have been brought to the San Siro to put the ball into the back of the net. You have been signed and brought to the San Siro to put on a Rossoneri shirt, to be a more prolific version of Tammy Abraham, to be a more prolific version of Jovic. That was your main responsibility when you were signed, and like I just feel like he hasn't. And the thing is, the track record aids him because like he has shown that prolific side of him at Feyenoord, albeit like not as competitive of a league, like maybe not as difficult, but I feel like the dimensions of a goal never change, whether it's in Italy, Spain, Holland, Morocco, Iran, Libya. Like, the dimensions of a goal doesn't change across the world, and he should always know how to put the ball into the back of the net. But this season, he's come across mega short on confidence. I think his movement is great, but I'll be real, I can never ever put a guy in okay, great, or good and just sit down and tell you guys I think he's been great because of movement. Brother, put the ball into the back of the net. That's what you've been signed for, and that's what you will be judged off. Okay, Allegri might appreciate you running the channels and pressing from the front and working hard, but I promise you, when Allegri wants to win a game, he's not looking at your nose tape and thinking that nose tape will secure me the 3 points. If anything, he's thinking, get that nose tape out of here. Let me bring on an Nkunku. Let me bring on a Pulisic. And whenever they've entered the frame, they've gone and done what Santi Jimenez couldn't do, which is put the ball into the back of the net. I am expecting him to kick on, maybe like in the final 3 quarters, but if he doesn't, he's the first name on the chopping board, and I don't think even he or his agent would look at it and say, you know what, we weren't given a crack at it. You were given a crack at it. Milan had injuries and you just didn't capitalize upon it. So that is my ranking of the Milan players so far in the first quarter of the season. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys. Oh my lord, I forgot. Rabiot, great. I am so sorry. I've completely forgot about Rabiot. I literally remembered him right at the end of the video. Rabiot for me has been great, but make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another one.